listening to the 23 Personnel Podcast, a Texas Tech athletics podcast where food and sports clash at the goal line. Here are your hosts, Spencer and Michael.
All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of 23 Personnel Podcast. This is your host, Spencer, joined by Michael. Michael, what's up, man?
I'm living that 2-0 life. It's pretty nice. I'm sure we'll get into the Cincinnati game here pretty quick since we can actually do an instant reaction. We haven't had the opportunity to do that. And unfortunately, the Arizona State game last week, it's unfortunate for several levels, but we stopped record at halftime pretty much, so was not able to recap what happened in the second half, most notably JT Toppin's injury. Anyway, I'm just rambling. How are you? Hello.
I was very disappointed, discouraged when Toppin went down. I had I know enough that when I saw them doing that test on his knee on the baseline, I was like, that's an ACL test. So I was like, instantly knew like that's not gonna be good. It was weird. The defensive what they were doing, Arizona State defensively, was very effective. And it was creating just odd scenarios for Texas Tech with the ball. And there was that what ended up happening on the play he was injured, like they allowed JT Toppin to bring the ball up to full court, but like in that instance he was a little bit rushed and a little out of control. Not that he was, I don't know, it was just strange. And it was not like they didn't injure him. I'm not like saying that like they took out his knee. But they forced him into an uncomfortable position to be in terms of like being the primary ball handler up the floor and then moving quickly. And then he just had a weird tumble and blew out his knee. Following that, I was like, man, this is my projection for this season was like, I don't know what you do about this. The basis of your offense was the pick and roll, and you were finding guys open depending on how they defended that. If they tried to double down on Toppin, he was good at finding an open 3-point shooters. Like without that threat, your 3-point offense is going to go. You don't have the same talent to plug somebody else in there in a JT Toppin spot, because who can replace JT Toppin? Nobody. So I was like, well, I don't know. I don't know what you do, because your whole offensive identity is kind of up in the air. That happened on was it a Saturday? No,
that was Tuesday.
It was Tuesday. And it's like, well, you got to figure something out because you play again on Saturday. And you hosted Kansas State. You end up falling versus Arizona State there Tuesday night. Arizona State rushed the court. Their fans were eating it up all throughout the week, saying it sucks that he got hurt, but Arizona State was going to win this game regardless. It's like, without Toppin, Texas Tech was within 2 points. They're late. And you had a fluke possession there at the end. Well, I guess 2 possessions. You had an an odd turnover there from Anderson. The final possession, you don't even get a shot off. You had Donovan Atwell missing the front end of a 1-and-1 for the first time in years. Almost 90% free throw shooter. It was him, and there's another guy. I don't mean to like harp on just him. There was another shooter also that high free throw percentage missed, uncharacteristically. So it's like Texas Tech was in a good position to be in, despite not having Toppin there for the final 6 minutes of that game. But I was just like, I had very down outlook coming out of that one. I was not sure what Saturday was going to look like. Granted, you were playing a head coachless Kansas State team. You had seen them have their resurgent win, and you're like, well, is this the new Kansas State? Is this what they're going to be like, or is this just like their one game bump without their coach? Like, we're actually not as bad as people think we are. You know, it was their pride win. So I know a lot of people are like, well, let's do what they do against Cincinnati tonight. You dropped 100 on Kansas State, which was fantastic. We had questions about I had questions about the offense. After Toppin, you end up winning 100 to 72. Coach McCassin said one of the things that Toppin asked, how are we going to rebound without me? And not like I'm the only person that I can rebound, but just like, how is this team going to respond? Well, you out-rebounded Kansas State 40-28.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're going to play
Did
Ben
the same
Boye
thing tonight, too, against Cincinnati. It was almost identical. It was 40-24.
It's even more of a out-rebound. Obviously, like I said, we're going to play a little bit more Ben Boye. You played Mariel Kuntak. You finished that game, Kansas State, with 8 blocks. You shot 83% of your free throws, 19 of 23. So you missed 4. 3 of those misses came from Ben Boye. And again, I don't share that to pick on him. Just that literally everyone else combined to miss 1. You shot almost 50% from 3, 13 of 28. Atwell had just an electric game, 26 points, 8 of 11 from the floor, 6 of 9 from 3 and 4 from the free throw line. Anderson added 21. Watts had a fantastic game, adding 19 points himself. Yes, it was a Jerome Tang head coachless, excuse me. He's not headless. Head coachless Kansas State, who was 2-12 in Big 12 play. But for a team looking to bounce back from losing your star player, you answered a lot of questions about what is this identity going to look like? Are you going to be able to shoot the 3? Are you going to be able to rebound? What are you going to do with size? You kind of check all those boxes. And then you had the opportunity tonight versus Cincinnati, another home game, which is wonderful how this broke for you schedule-wise, to solidify, okay, what's the direction going to look like without Toppin? What's the offense? What's the load going to look like for Anderson, for Atwell, for Watts, for Ben Boye? And you went on a 10-0 run to finish the first half, to take the lead for good. I didn't watch the second half if it got. I didn't watch it so close. I was out of the house, but I know once you took the lead in the first half, you didn't give it up before halftime. Your starters tonight were Watts, Anderson, Ben Boye, Petty, and Atwell. Anderson, 31 points. Unbelievable. 11 of 19 from the field. Only 3 of 8 from 3. 6 of 6 from the free throw line. As a team, you were 16 of 20 from the free throw line. Kuntak accounted for 3 of those 4 misses. Again, not to pick on a big, but when you as a team miss 4 free throws and one player accounts for 3 of them, everybody else is shooting just unbelievable.
Yeah, and credit to Bam Boy. I have so much trouble pronouncing an M with a G right after it. Bamagboye. It's, oh my gosh.
I'm just not saying the G at all.
I'm West Texasing that so badly. But anyway, credit to him. We mentioned his not so great free throw performance against Kansas State. I mean, really picking nets against Kansas State, 2 and 5, but was perfect tonight, 4-4. So, obvious emphasis, I'm sure, in that last week.
Yeah, and he added 3 blocks tonight. You had 6 on the night. You got 3 from Josiah Mosley, 3 from Bamboye. He played 26 minutes, added 6 points. 4 of those were free throws. As a team, you shot 52% from the field, which is just stupid. 40% from 3. You attempted 20 free throws. You hit 16 of them. Out rebounded 40 to 24. For a team that I'd heard matchup wise, you're going up with some front court size. You went into the game with 28 points in the paint. You out rebounded them, 19 second chance points, 8 of 11 on layups. Almost 1.4 points per possession. Like you did well. Obviously, when you beat a team by 12, 80 to 68. Defensively, they had 6 guys score points. They had 8 guys play, and only 6 score points. 4 of those are double figures, 2 for 12, 1 for 15, 1 for 21. Mustaf Thiam, who you were, I wouldn't say baiting, but like you were okay with him attempting threes. He attempted 4, hit 1 of them. But he was their high scorer for the night, 21 points, 7 of 19 from the field. It was 6 of 7 from the free throw line, 10 rebounds. So,
yeah, that free throw line, that's really high for him. I did a little bit of looking into him coming in because, like you, I was pretty beside myself on Wednesday after hearing the news. I will admit I was a bad Red Raider fan. I watched halftime, and then I was exhausted and went to sleep and thought, I will catch up with the second half of this game tomorrow. On Wednesday morning, woke up, read the news, thought, okay, I'm never watching the second half of this game as long as I live. I haven't watched a replay of the injury. I haven't watched any of that. I've only heard what you've pointed out about him bringing the ball down and maybe bumping knees or whatever it was. I just... That's it. That's enough for me. That's all I need to know and see. So moving on from that game, I was in the same position. Kansas State. These guys are 1-8 on the road. They haven't won a road game since December, and it was against Creighton. And just wasn't going to take too much stock into how Tech played during that game, although they did play super well, shot extremely well. Speaking of well, played really great. But back to tonight, I kept telling myself, all right, sure, they took care of Kansas State. Who hasn't? UCF throttled them. No, that's not right. That's right. I've got that backwards. Kansas throttled them at home. Iowa State and Cincy all beat them by 30-ish. And I thought, okay, big whoop. But let's see what Texas Tech does against Miller and Mustafa Thiam. These guys are 6'11", 7'2". They combine for 22 or 26 points per game, 16 boards, 3 blocks per game between the two of them. Free throws, what brought me on this tangent, they're in the 60s. They're in like the 60% range on free throws. So I thought, well, that may work to Tech's advantage if they get to the line. But these guys got their points, like you pointed out. 21 and 12 between the two of them, but they were in foul trouble. Their minutes were limited, and they didn't get a lot of rebounds. They combined for 7 rebounds, and that's almost half what they normally combine for.
And for 2 guys, one's almost 7 feet, one's over 7 feet. That's pretty impressive that you held them out of the paint, kept them off the glass. So
yeah, Yeah, I was really eyeballing that matchup because I felt like so many times this year it seems like Texas Tech has been small on the court, and they are, and then sometimes they play like it, but sometimes they sure don't. Sometimes they are the smaller team on the court, but you would never think it. And tonight was one of those nights, and I'm really impressed with the team. I'm not hanging banners just yet or anything, but I have removed the season is over banner that I temporarily had flying probably on my MySpace page. I don't know if any of you guys saw that, but it was there, and I took it down. I took it down though. So I'm really impressed with what they've been able to do, and especially the bigs, how they've been able to bounce back. And Watts is he's still making some questionable decisions here and there, but man, if you've got guys like Anderson hitting and or Atwell hitting from three, you're going to open stuff up. Tonight Anderson had 7 assists. One of them was a beautiful pass to Bangboye down low, just wide open. That type of stuff's going to happen now, where it wouldn't have before. There's no way that, or maybe not no way, but it would have been extremely rare to have a wide open JT Toppin down low. They're going to know where he is. But now they've got to worry about Anderson and Atwell, and they might let our six something guy just kind of fly by. But anyway, I was very impressed with the win tonight, based off of the adversity the team's seen over the last week, who they're about to face. Iowa State's next on the schedule. They're currently up by 10 versus Utah. Utah, of course, is last in the Big 12, so may not learn a lot during this game, but if they win it, then they will just take care of business, and that's that.
Yeah, it would be quite the addition to the resume. Texas Tech obviously has wins over Arizona, Duke, and Houston. At the time, they were all top 3 when those games happened.
Well, and Duke is now number 1 in the country.
Duke's number 1. You beat them in Madison Square Garden. You beat Arizona in Arizona, and you took care of Houston. So, or you split with Houston, but you have defeated Houston. So you're 21-7 on the season after tonight, 11-4 in Big 12 play, with, check it, 3 games remaining. How did that happen? You have 3 conference games left. Saturday at Iowa State, next Tuesday versus TCU, and then following Saturday at BYU before you hit the tournament. Big 12 tournament, March 10th. You mentioned this game coming up against Iowa State. They're number 4 currently, and with a lead. Tip will be 3 p.m. on CBS Sports Network. Haslam has been pretty spot on with the projections as of late. They have this one as a 6.5 point favor for the Cyclones, which you would expect, that being their number 4 and at home. Hilton Coliseum has been just a very difficult place to play. Led by, I'm not going to attempt to pronounce Eastern European.
You won't believe that. Okay, one, he's from, it said he was born in Wisconsin.
Well,
like not Milwaukee, but Pewaukee, like Pewaukee, and Momcilovic. That's it.
Momcilovic. Okay.
Yeah, I practiced it, but not out loud apparently.
And then Jefferson. They're 6'8" and 6'9" forwards. They are averaging, 18 and 17 points per game, so 35 points per game. Momcilovic, 53% from the field, 51% from 3, 89% from the free throw line, and 3 rebounds. Jefferson is 16.5 points per game, 48% from the field, 37% from 3, 70% from the free throw line, 8 rebounds. But it does have the highest turnovers of the game. Turnovers per game, 2.5, If I could read the notes that Michael found here, he minded this out. I should have just let him read it. But yeah, then you've got the follow-up game next Tuesday, a week from tonight, back home versus TCU for your senior night, 6 p.m. on FS1, before your final game of the season at BYU, the 7th.
You want to talk a little NCAA top 16 reveal?
I heard about this. I didn't see it when it happened, but yeah, let's jump there.
Yeah, so that came out on the 21st, and I feel like this is something I should have an answer to, but I don't. I don't know if this is something they're going to update, or they're just going to let this marinate until Selection Sunday. But NCAA officially released a top 16 reveal of the basketball teams, and amongst the Big 12, Arizona was picked as a number 2 overall seed, which would put them as a number 1 seed in the West bracket in San Jose. Iowa State, number 4 overall, number 1 seed in the South bracket in Houston. Houston, a number 6 overall seed, and a number 2 seed in the Midwest at Chicago. Kansas, a number 10 overall seed, number 3 in the East bracket in DC. And of course, Texas Tech, number 13 overall, placed in the same bracket as Iowa State in the South in Houston. And I think this came out not too long after Toppin's injury. And so a lot of folks were worried. It says Saturday, but I thought it came out like a day or two after that. I don't know why I have 2/21 on there. Yeah, that was when it came out. Anyway, so that was Saturday. But I give them kudos because I don't think they did that thing where they looked at Tech's potential body of work as opposed to Tech's actual body of work. It looks like they took JT Toppin's injury out of the equation and gave Tech a number 4 seed in the bracket, which I feel like is worthy of the resume up to that point and including to today. I don't think they knocked Texas Tech like, oh, well, we've got to rank these teams over the potential that they have to go far in the tournament, as opposed to, no, what have they done? And so I think they leaned more on that, but others may disagree. I don't know what your thoughts are on it.
So I thought I did hear that they consider the Toppin, and that Texas Tech was not like harshly punished or bumped for. Like, I think it was like 1 spot. It moved them from the last 3 seed to the first 4 seed.
Okay, well that doesn't surprise me too much, but the metrics and everything kind of stayed put, because of course you wouldn't expect those to change. The AP ranking, Tech did go down, but they lost a game. That's not crazy. They lost a game that they shouldn't have lost, really, even though it was on the road. But I do think it's just, I don't know how much it played into it. I think I'm giving people the benefit of the doubt that the Arizona State loss factored more into these rankings than an injury of one of the best, if not the best players in the Big 12, and maybe one of the best that Texas Tech has ever seen. I don't want to downplay this enough. I mean, or downplay it at all. This is a really, he's a special player. We were really lucky that he came back. Who knows what's going to happen in the future, but what a run we've had with him as a Red Raider. If it were to end on Tuesday, I hope it doesn't, but what a special guy. And I'm glad he made a second year.
Yeah. So with tonight's results and I guess projecting out Iowa State holding on to win this one, you have a 4-way tie for second place in the conference. Arizona at the top at 12-2, and then Houston, Kansas, Texas Tech, and Iowa State all at 11-4. Again, this is assuming Iowa State holds on. And then you get a little bit of a drop. BYU would be, was that 5th, 6th? You're at 8-6. UCF at 8-6, TCU 7-8. Sorry, 7-7. Nope. TCU 7-7. West Virginia, Cincinnati at 7-8. Colorado, Arizona State at 5-9. Oklahoma State 5-10. Baylor 4-10. Kansas and Utah there at the end at 2-12.
For what it's worth, Oklahoma State did win tonight. They won in OT versus West Virginia at home, but it's just a lot of Big 12 basketball tonight. So, last night Houston was dismantled by Kansas on the road. Kind of surprised me. Kansas played some really impressive defense, stifled Houston. They were unable to get anything cooking. Fleming's as good as he was. It kind of became he had to do it or no one else would, and he just couldn't quite do it because they could double him and do whatever they wanted defensively. So that was kind of weird to see. But yeah, tonight in action, Arizona and Baylor are tied right now at 55 with about 11 minutes left. Iowa State, as you mentioned, up by almost 20 on the road at Utah. TCU hosting Arizona State up 46-41. And BYU is hosting UCF, and it has yet to start. It will start at 10 p.m. Central. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There were 6 total Big 12 games tonight.
Unbelievable. So, all right, going back to the bracket, if that were to hold, and the teams advance as higher seeds, you would face Iowa State in the Sweet 16, the 1-4 matchup there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but do you what weight do you place in the Big 12 tournament?
Oh man, it's always so tricky. I think if you're at the top of it, very, very little. Excuse me. I think if you're in like the top 4 or 5 seeds, I kind of think your path is set. But I don't even know what type of is there even really. I mean, UCF I think has the most to gain in the tournament. They always seem to be kind of right on the tail end of getting ranked or receiving votes or just being right there. But I think the rest of it's just a matter of. I could see a seed drop, maybe 1 or 2, but I don't think so. I don't think they're going to pay that much attention. I think the only way that they'll pay attention is if UCF ends up in the championship game or, finishes third or something. That may help them, but then all the teams that are ahead of them will probably not move.
Yeah. All right. So, very quickly, 3 games left. A week and a half from now, the regular season will be over. And we'll be talking about the Big 12 tournament and Selection Sunday and how that's gonna come fast. If Texas Tech does end up playing in Houston, that's not that far away.
Especially for you.
Well, that's what I was meaning. For us down here in South Texas. I was just in Houston 2 weeks ago. I guess I can make a trip back, go see my Red Raiders, but yeah.
Is it the same gym? Like they're
if we have
it's a middle school. Sorry.
If we have access to the corporate suite, I'm going to be hitting up our divisional VP like, hey man, I know you just got us tickets for the Rockets and it was a fantastic hookup. Thank you. But if we have suites and Texas Tech is playing, get me in.
Yeah.
I don't think we have that kind of connection just yet. It'd be nice though. Lady Raiders, they are 24-5, 11-5. So they are 2 games out from finishing their regular season. They split this past week, win over number 15 Baylor by a lot. 31.
Yeah, it was a kind of a bloodbath, you could say. It was Texas Tech won every single quarter. They never let off the gas. It didn't seem like they were, you see a team build a lead and then they kind of let it go, but they just kept adding and adding. Danae Fritz, who has become just a really locked down defender, she gave Olivia Miles all sorts of trouble when TCU came to town. She held Baylor's top scorer, Scott, to only 2 made field goals in 13 attempts. I think she still wound up with 11 points or something, or 13, but I think she had 7 free throws. So that was a lot of that. But Maupin with 22, Collins off the bench with 23. Lady Raiders forced 21 turnovers, absolutely dominated the paint, which is not something we've seen very often this season. 44 to 26 points in the paint. So it wasn't all from beyond the arc. They were just slicing and dicing this Baylor defense. So yeah, just a really great start to the week, especially after, this was Wednesday. This was the day of the Toppin news. And so this was a game I had circled anyway. And then after that, you're like, man, I really could use a dub, ladies. And then they came through in a big way.
Yeah. So their week flipped from the men's results.
Yes.
Men lost on Tuesday. Ladies won on Wednesday. Men bounced back on Saturday, won. Lady Raiders fell on Saturday. On the road, though, but they lost Saturday at Colorado 75 to 68. And some of the same points you pointed to, how you were led to a victory versus Baylor, were against Colorado. You turned the ball over 19 times. You had a bad second quarter, even worse fourth quarter. A lot of turnovers. You mentioned here, Nunez had 3 of her 5 turnovers in the last few minutes.
Yeah, the fourth quarter, I think Texas Tech was outscored 22-9. Just really, really tough to be able to stay in a game with that. Bright spot of the game was Bristow. I'll do the bad stuff first. So she had a couple of missteps late. Had a technical foul where she was fouled on a shot, I believe. And then when they called the foul, she clapped in the player's face.
Oh, no.
I mean, that's an obvious, absolutely they're going to call that. And then with like 48 seconds left, they were running an inbounds play, and I don't know if she wasn't paying attention or what, but the ball just hit her in the hands and then went back out of bounds. And Tech was within 2 possessions at that point, and so that one really hurt. But she was also the reason Tech was in the game. She was the only player that was really able to score all night. She made every shot but one. She missed a 3 once. She was 5 of 6 from the field. She was 4 of 5 from 3. She was 4 of 4 from the line. Had 5 blocks, 5, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pretty great night from Bristow. She also had, she's had some bigger nights in the last week or two. She disappeared a little bit in January, but looks like she's bouncing back some. So glad to see her back. But man, that was a tough one to lose, because Colorado is now, because of this win, receiving votes in the AP poll. I don't think they were receiving votes last week, and now they're essentially number 26 in the country. They are a 20-win team now, I think. So, it's not like their record hasn't shown it. And what really hurts is Tech and Colorado are currently tied for 4th place in the Big 12. And of course, Colorado has that tiebreaker right now. And that means a lot more now that there's only 2 games left. With Kansas, let's see, Kansas is looming. That's Wednesday at 6:30, ESPN Plus. That turned into a really physical game in Lubbock, so you may buckle up for that on Wednesday. And then Sunday's the regular season finale here in Lubbock, Senior Day, hosting Arizona State at 2 p.m. on March 1st, and hopefully we'll get to go to that one. We've missed a lot of the games due to first and second grade basketball, which I'll get to later. I know everybody is just waiting for the Court Queen update. They're just going to fast forward to that spot, and that's fine. But Lady Raiders, like you said, split 1-1 this week. Big 12 tourney, week ahead of the men. They start on March 4th. That tourney will end on the 9th, and Selection Sunday will be March 15th. I think they're going to reveal the top 16 on Saturday, the 14th. Tech's in the mix, I believe, but I don't know. Just judged by how the AP has treated them and everything throughout the entire year, they don't get a whole lot of love. They get dinged a lot for their losses, so I was hopeful that they could make a top 16 seed and Lubbock could host the first weekend, and I still am hopeful that could happen, but I just don't trust the people making the decisions. So anyway, Selection Sunday, we'll find out for sure, March 15th at 7 o'clock at night on ESPN.
All righty. Well, with that, let's bump over to the Diamond, talk about softball and baseball. The Red Raider softball team is out to a scorching start, 16-1. They dropped their, well, technically would be their second game, but it was an exhibition game. The Team Japan was an exhibition. So the result there was a 1-0 loss, but does not count against in their record. So they still have the one loss, and it was against Nebraska the previous weekend. But this past weekend, the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic in Cathedral City, California. That's a mouthful. They were 5-1, but on the record 5-0 with a run rule win over Fresno State Thursday to kick it off or to get started, 12-2. Bethune-Cookman on Friday was 8-0. Cal State Fullerton 6-3. San Diego State 5-0. And then an absolute shellacking of the UC Riverside team on their getaway day, 16-0. So on the weekend in the tournament, you gave up, what is that, five runs in games that counted, 6 if you count Japan, while scoring 20, 36, 47 runs. You went 47-5.
Yikes.
Look out. Next up, they are hosting their own tournament in Lubbock. They're the Janine McCaney Memorial Classic. ACU on Thursday, North Texas on Friday, and then Texas A&M Corpus Christi Detroit Mercy on Saturday. Texas A&M Corpus Christi and North Texas on Sunday. Go Islanders. Just kidding.
Hey.
Just kidding.
How dare you? Oh, okay. All those games are on ESPN Plus, by the way, for the McCaney Memorial Classic. The previous tournament was on Flow Sports. So if you've got that subscription, now's your reminder to cancel it, because the Red Raiders softball and baseball teams have played all their games on Flow College for the season. So go ahead, log in, hit that cancel button, and you can thank us later.
Yeah. Big 12 opener will be at Houston starting the first weekend of March, 6, 7, 8. They're against the Cougars. ESPN Plus. Baseball, Michael. They have bounced back.
We're so back.
They're 5-0 since that opening weekend multi-team tournament event, whatever you want to call it. Starting with a road game at UTRGV. I think we talked about it as the game was ongoing. It wasn't final last week. Impressed with their facilities, not going to lie. They actually did have 6,500 fans in attendance. So
did you count them?
No. They mentioned that in the broadcast, but then it did come out in like the official notes and everything. That was the actual attendance number. I had a hard time believing it in the moment, that it wasn't just kind of a slip of the tongue of the broadcast crew as they were live. But no, it was confirmed, because that's a lot of people for a baseball team. And is it McAllen or Edinburgh? I don't remember. Edinburgh.
The Valley.
The Valley, yeah. In an instance where it wasn't like, oh, what's a bunch of Texas Tech fans. No, there was very large majority UTRGV, and you would expect that, right? Like, you're not anywhere close to Lubbock or Texas Tech land. And it was a horrendous start for the Red Raiders. I think it was 7 or 8 walks in the first inning. You were down big. If you were in the Discord chat that night, you wanted to fire the staff and shut down the season. And then Lincoln Garcia got up to bat and was hitting home runs left and right. And you're like, yeah, we're so back. Never a doubt. You end up winning that one 21-12. Don't like giving up 12 runs, but your starting pitching was a little shaky. And then you had your home series, your home opener versus Albany, the Great Danes. And you were perfect in those 4 games. Friday, you won 16-8. Saturday, 15-1. It was shortened. Second game on Saturday, you walked him off, which is, it happens. But yeah, you did win 8-6. And then Sunday, another run rule. A very interesting end to this game as a run rule. It was a bases loaded walk to get the 10th run, to get your 10-run lead in the 8th. So they walked in the run, and that was the end of the game.
Oh man. I did not know that.
Yeah, because it was
anticlimactic.
It was like when they walked it in, and you went up by 10. I wasn't 100% locked in. So when the catcher jumped up and shook the umpire's hand and started walking off the field, it's like, what's going on? I was like, oh, that's a 10-run lead on the final on a travel day. That's a run rule. So you took care of a not great Albany team. It was their first games of the season, so take that into consideration. Their first time playing outside, which was hammered into the broadcast if you watch any of them. But you're on a 5-0 streak. Your next games will start this Friday. You do not have a midweek. You're hosting Cal State Bakersfield Friday afternoon, Saturday afternoon, and Sunday morning. And then you have a home series the following weekend versus Penn State. All of those games will be on ESPN+.
I'm kind of surprised that Tadlock hasn't. I just assumed when I saw the schedule and you and I started looking into it a little bit closer, probably in January, that he would have added a couple of random midweeks through this stretch. I'm kind of surprised that never actually came to fruition.
Yeah, your next midweek doesn't come until March 10th. You get a 2-game midweek series versus UTSA Tuesday, Wednesday. But you're on this extended home stand here. You won't travel until you go to Dallas to take on Dallas Baptist a full month after playing in the Valley. So you get a full month here at home. I say here at home. In Lubbock at home. Started off with Albany, then CSU Bakersfield, Penn State, UTSA, and then their home opener, Big 12 play versus Kansas before you hit the road again.
I think it's 15. I think they'll play 15 home games before they go to DBU total.
And your first home night game isn't until the Penn State series, which is odd to me. Even with a doubleheader, that second game ended.
Yeah, they pushed it up, yeah.
Before sunset. I did see, I don't know if it's been addressed yet. Connor Schaus, your third baseman, hit a home run off the Coke bottle sign there in right center field. It actually broke the display. he hit the display where the numbers are, where they show the pitch speed. Apparently that had not been used to display pitch speed anymore. They had moved that display onto the actual big video scoreboard. Had they not, that would have been non-functional after he hit it, because it shattered. Pieces landed on the field.
Does he win
Coke for
Coke
life?
Coke products for life?
Hit it here? No, I don't think so. But yeah. So we'll see. I mean, obviously the schedule is not like super challenging. I know nothing about Penn State baseball. But we'll see how you do in Big 12 play. And what you do against Dallas Baptist. But
I'll learn you some Penn State right now. They are 2-4 overall. They have. I'm rejecting the cookies Penn State website. I don't want Matt Campbell to know where I live. Let's see. Oh my gosh, this site is terrible. It just keeps it's doing that thing where it's loading and it keeps moving. All right. Overall 2-4. They lost 3-15 versus Air Force. They did beat Grand Canyon 9-3. They lost 5-24 in 7 innings versus K-State. Beat the Richmond Spiders 5-0. Lost the next day to Richmond 0-3. Lost the what do you call that? It was a 4-game series, doesn't matter. Well, the 4th game was canceled. They lost 3-4 on the bumper match. No, it's not right. What is it?
the rubber match.
Rubber match. There you go. So yeah, not great. It's not looking so great.
So I was looking at the CSU Cal State Bakerfield Roadrunners. I was looking at their schedule.
Oh,
They're
nice.
4-4. They were last weekend here in my neck of the woods. They played a little tournament down here at Texas A&M Corpus Christi. They beat the Islanders on Friday, 7-4, then lost to Pitt 14-0, and Long Beach State 15-2.
So Texas Tech will play Roadrunners, Nittany Lions, and then Roadrunners again.
Yes, 2 different Roadrunners. Before taking on another mythical bird, the Jayhawk.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, Roadrunner's not mythical bird, but
no,
it's actually real.
I saw one last week before I got chased by the bison.
Do you remember that story? All right.
It's great.
Anything else stickball related, Michael? I feel like we're...
You know me. I've usually got so much, but yeah, I think that's got it for me.
All right. I actually don't have anything for football.
Me neither. The draft, combine, I don't keep up with that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Good luck. Good luck, everybody.
Well, let's wrap this up then with what did we learn.
Let's do it.
Let's get into episode nearing an hour. I'm sure we'll still go over. I've got 1. You've got 2. I'll just go ahead and go first. So I had another run-in with the weekday running club or walking club. I don't know which one to call them. They had 3 individuals show up this morning. I feel like I didn't do a great job explaining where they set up last time. Like, one of the walking clubs had like the straightaway stretches, the extended parts. That's where they set up. It was out of the circle. This one today, they had 3 people show up. Again, they finished their distance, whatever it was, because they were there before me. Props to them. I'm getting there early. They were done. Then they camped out in lane number 4. And to be fair, I was literally the only person on the track. So it wasn't like they were causing any kind of disruption to anybody else but me, but Michael. As I was approaching, I was actually supposed to be in the 4th lane because I used the lanes to count how many laps I'm on. I'm in lane 4. It's my 4th lap. And they're standing there just chatting away. It's like, there's literally a football field you could stand in. Or take 2 steps and get off the track.
Well, you don't want to get your shoes wet from the dew of the grass.
We have had a really high humidity.
I'd imagine. I mean, my glasses fog up just thinking about it.
Yeah. Anyways, they're there. They still strike. They still have zero awareness.
Is it an 8-lane track?
It's just 4.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Just 4. And they just camp out. They're there on lane number 4. When they're done, it's like, y'all could go to the parking lot by your cars. You could take a step off of the track. There's grass right there inside the fenced-in area.
The parking lot would make more sense because you don't have to haul all the stinking tables and stuff.
They didn't bring a table this time.
Oh, okay.
But they had like all their stuff on the concrete curb. So like they brought purses, lots of bottles of water. And then that stuff doesn't bother me. It's the standing in the lane when they're done chatting.
What's the average ounce size of those water bottles? 32?
78. They're massive. Hydro jugs. Half gallon. I guess that would be 64.
Just bringing a Home Depot 5-gallon bucket.
No, they're normal, the large, but like there were 3 people there. 2 of them had multiple.
I mean, that's a workout alone, just hauling that thing around all day.
Yeah. So I know they don't listen, but get off the track. Get out of the way. It's freight trains coming. It's me. I'm walking. I'm walking here. You know what movie that's from?
Yes, I've never seen it though.
You haven't seen
I've seen the clip.
Miss Congeniality?
No, it's not off of that. They took it from like Midnight Rider or something.
I'm talking about the
Dustin Hoffman movie from like the 70s.
I have no idea what that is. Miss Congeniality is what I'm talking about.
Oh my gosh. No, you're talking about like that's why they said it, because of the other Dustin Hoffman saying it. The OG.
Makes sense.
And the story is on that movie. I can't even remember the name of the movie. I know random trivia for movies I've never seen. People love that about me, I'm sure. But the story of that is they're walking across the street in New York or wherever they are, and this cab almost hits Dustin Hoffman, and he bangs on the hood and that thick accent, "I'm walking here." And supposedly that cab kind of snuck through. And I think it was an actual driver that did almost actually hit him. And I think he just kind of reacted.
So I looked it up. AI overview here. The famous "I'm walking here" line delivered by Dustin Hoffman was largely improvised after a real New York City taxi cab nearly hit him and co-star John Voight during filming.
Who needs a data center? You got one right here, brother. This is a data center. You're looking at it. This is 1.3 gigawatts of power.
How much water do you require?
You need to convert your 345 and 500 kVA systems to 765 kVA, rewire the entire state, just so you can ask this random guy who co-hosts a podcast about a bit of Dustin Hoffman trivia.
None of that made any sense to me, but I'm glad. We are grateful for engineers such as yourself to help keep us in our infrastructure connected. Get us on the grid. We can have power. Where would we be without power, Michael?
Oh, man.
Literally the dark ages.
Very mad. Very mad and upset. In my menchies, as they would say. Right. Okay. So I've got a Court Queens update. That's my first and second grade team. I shouldn't call them my daughter's first and second grade team because I'm not a coach. I have nothing to do with all of that aside from I do run the scoreboard because they always have to.
Is that official now?
It's pretty official. Like you have to have a volunteer from each team, one to run the book and one to run the scoreboard. And if I get there first, I'm picking the scoreboard because the book is a nightmare. And I would much rather do the scoreboard because the clock runs and runs and you don't have to worry about too many points being scored.
So for Little League, the baseball, I enjoy doing the books. However, for Little League, it's very different from like even college where like walk, single that turns into a home run. But also like in a baseball field, like if you got to run the scoreboard, you were inside and they had the AC flowing. So like if we could ever run those, I don't fault the previous president for doing what she did and all the great things she was doing for the league, but she brought in like a group of paid individuals that made sure that every field had a running scoreboard. So it took that lift off the parents to do it, but it also means I didn't get to do it last year, and I was upset about that.
I know.
Sorry, go on basketball.
No, you're good. At first, it was just kind of I guess because we had growing up in small town Merkel, Texas. Of all things, our Baptist church had a basketball league for 2nd through 5th grade because you didn't start playing at the school system until 6th grade. So 2nd through 5th grade, I played in that. And then when I got older, I volunteered and would officiate sometimes, but I really mostly ran the scoreboard and I liked it. I had no issue with it. And I thought, oh, okay, this will be, it was 30 years later, but I can do it. It is a little different. The concepts are the same, but it is kind of funny how they just, oh, you're an adult. Here it is. Sometimes you show up and nothing's even plugged in. Like one time we were in a different
Figure
gym.
this out.
Yeah, it was our first time in a different gym, and I just happened to be there a long enough time, and like the football is there, the suitcase, the nuclear football's there, and it's open, but nothing's plugged in. I've got to figure out how to plug it in, and then turn it on and get all the stuff running and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, it's been fun. I've actually enjoyed it, and it keeps me from, it keeps my mouth shut.
Is there a button on the scoreboard to like hit the horn?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't do. I would be.
I don't
obnoxious.
do that.
Oh, we got a sub coming in.
No, I don't do that because I let the refs handle as much as I possibly can. I would much rather hear their whistle than that horn going off. So I usually I've yet to hit it.
Okay.
And it's funny too because these guys seem to think that we just do this all the time. And so they come up to you and they're asking me questions like, all right, 6-minute quarters, right? Yeah, sure, yeah.
You tell me, man.
Clock runs till the last 2 minutes. Yep. Each coach gets how many timeouts? It's like a pop quiz every week. Yeah, each coach gets 4 timeouts, 60 seconds each. If we go to overtime, it's 2 minutes. The clock stops. Each coach gets another 30-second timeout. Anyway, but what I was going to say, just to update on the Court Queens themselves, started off 0-3 on the year, had a 4-0 run, brother.
Mm-hmm.
But then tonight had a rematch against a team that they lost to early on and blew an 8-2 lead. Had an 8-2 lead at half. And
massive. They held them to 2 points over 12 minutes.
Yeah, it was a really defensive battle. And then huge third quarter for the Golden Girls. Golden Girls took down the Court Queens finished the game on a 10-0 run.
Ouch.
So went from winning 8-2 to losing 12-8, including an unfortunate incident where a girl got confused and made a bucket for the other team.
Luckily for the Court Queens, it wasn't the deciding score.
Right.
But dang, that's you hate that.
And when you're the scorekeeper and you look at the referees and you're like, do we count that? And you're like, yeah, bucket's good. Oh man, beep beep. I'm like hand entering that into the away team. Our girls wore white tonight, so they were a home team. So yeah, it's tough.
It cracked me up and gave me a little nostalgia that a Cooper League has a schedule and standings website and where all this thing is official. I'm sure lots of sport teams do.
Oh my gosh, this league is so well run. I'm I'm enjoying it thoroughly. That's one of the reasons I volunteered to do the scoreboard thing, because I was like, these people know what's going on. They've got this figured out.
Also,
if I do something
Swish,
wrong, someone's going to tell me and maybe not be a jerk about it. Oh yeah, the Swish. Oh my goodness,
Swish are legit.
9-0. They're 9-0. I don't think we've played this. We did. It was their second game. The Court Queens lost to the Swish by 2. And
they're blowing everybody else out.
They are. That was our only shot at them. We will not play them again until playoffs. So there are 7 teams playoffs. There are 7 teams in the bracket, or not in the bracket, but in our division. Unfortunately, 7th place will not make the playoffs, but everyone else does. So the top 6 teams make it. So we will make it. It's just, Swish is pretty good.
Right now, team number 7 is 0-9.
Yeah, we've got a 9-0 and an 0-9. There's a lot of gap in the middle.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to I mean, not that they lost tonight, but for how the season's going. Yeah,
I've just really enjoyed it. My girl's, she's just like smiling while she's out there. She's smiling, or she's like the appropriate level of mad, which is great. I don't see her that way in soccer. In soccer, it's just kind of, whatever happens. And when they lost tonight, she was actually, she cared that they lost. It's rare that it's just like, it's just a game. It's fine. She's not too worried about it. But I kind of enjoyed seeing that a little bit. So anyway, hopefully we've got a little basketball player that's she's just improved so much. She's just started in October, and she's miles different from what she was able to do in October. So I've just really enjoyed it. She not at the tip off, so she played some good defense tonight. Almost had a couple of jump balls, had some rebounds, and she didn't do the tip off tonight. She has a couple of times, but the girl that did actually tipped it right to my daughter, and she just went straight to the bucket.
Nice.
Missed, unfortunately.
Oh.
But went straight to the bucket. So that was really cool, because I got to, I'm changing the possession arrow. So I was like, well, I know who had the ball first, because it was my daughter who took the ball down. It was obvious. Okay. So anyway, that was kind of fun.
And your finger was on the button to go boop, boop,
swoop,
on the score,
switch it over. Black ball, next jump ball. Okay. I have a Dr. Pepper Zero update for you, Spencer.
Speaking of, I've been enjoying one tonight.
We've talked about it probably about 3 weeks ago. I had my first epiphany with this, and you're just like, finally, of course, you've been spreading the gospel of Dr. Pepper Zero for practically as long as we've known each other, or as long as it's existed. I'm not sure which happened first, but it's close. And it is so stinking good. I sent you a picture. I sent you a picture of the 12-pack I bought. It's becoming my new afternoon drink at work, because I've mistakenly thought that I could still drink a decent amount of coffee in the afternoon here and there, and then I'll be laying in bed wide awake at 11:30 p.m. going, nope, that does not work for me. But Dr. Pepper, sodas don't have quite as much caffeine. Mm-hmm. This was great. So I took, I've got some here at the house. I've got some at the office. When I was getting in the truck headed over to basketball tonight to run the scoreboard, I knocked back a Dr. Pepper Zero on the way. I was alert and ready to go. Make sure I didn't miss the total 20 points scored in the 4 quarters of basketball tonight. I just feel like I owe you an apology still. I'm still atoning. So far, now I've only had the one fountain drink experience. I need to go by Circle K and have experienced that again. But as is typical with me, the can experience is superior to all of it. Straight from the can. I've poured it on ice, and that's fine. But man, straight from the can, it's a little more carbonated than when you pour it on ice, but not That's what has always gotten me with diet drinks. Even Coke Zero, which I do like, they seem so carbonated. They just feel like you constantly have to belch at some point. But the Zero, it's pretty tasty.
Yeah, so I'd be interested if if you continue to purchase, because as I pointed out in our text exchange, they ain't cheap anymore.
No joke. I haven't purchased like a 12-pack of soda in a long time. You were talking about the deals that you mentioned that before.
You have to get them on deals, otherwise it's outrageous. And you think about like per can cost, like this is not worth it.
Yeah, I was just dead set on, oh man, I'm going to go pick up a 12-pack of Dr. Pepper Zero next time I'm in the store. And I happened to be in Target on Saturday, and it was $8.39 for a 12-pack.
Which you're like, well, why would? Of course, it's going to be expensive at Target. They're that much anywhere. If you go to H-E-B, United, Walmart.
Like, man,
the
I
thing
could
with
get it.
Walmart is that they won't put it on sale. You have to go get it. Like, I think United has the best bundle sales, and you have to catch them at the right time.
Yeah, I get a 12-pack of Rolling Rock or Miller High Life for almost that amount. It's within $1 or so. But they won't let me keep that at work.
So I'd be interested if you continue to make these purchases, if you branch out into flavors, if you end up finding one that you like the most. Blackberry still tastes medicinal. That's least favorite.
Is strawberries and cream still your fave?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because there was another one that came out recently that you tried. So maybe it was the blackberry.
They redesigned the can for the cherry. It used to be like a teal can, but now the cherry looks a lot like this. It's black and red. They have a cream soda, which is black and tan.
That was the one. Yeah, because we bought that for our pirate pal. That was one of her favorites. Was Dr. Pepper cream soda, and I tried one, and I just wasn't for me.
So the strawberries and cream and the cream soda came out about the same time. I liked the cream soda better at first because this one tasted super sweet, and now I prefer the strawberries over the cream. I like them all. Let's be honest.
If I see that cherry, it's happening.
That's good.
That one really speaks to me. Yeah.
The blackberry is still out. It's black and purple. The coconut one was, I think, seasonal for last summer. It's actually not like you say that. It's pretty good. But yeah, you really like if you're going to be getting into purchasing regularly, you gotta keep an eye out on the United sales because it'll go for typically like $5 to $6 a 12-pack. But you got like 3 of them to do it.
Oh,
so you're spending more money to do it.
3 for 15 or 3 for 18 or
something like that. Instead of 3 for 25 or whatever.
Yeah.
At full price. I love it.
It's good, man. I've one of my hottest takes is I'm not that big of a Dr. Pepper fan. It's fine. I like it. I would prefer an ice cold Coca-Cola or maybe even a Pepsi or a Big Red to a Dr. Pepper. But man, the Zero, by far the best diet drink I've ever had.
Yeah. I did recently learn that it makes sense when you kind of think about it. There are people that prefer the restaurant fountain mixes of sodas more than the actual bottled or canned from the manufacturers. Like, how? Like, you're getting what the makers of Dr. Pepper want you to drink when you get it from the can or from the bottle. Granted, based on the bottle shape, it's actually coming from Coke or Dr. Pepper. But you get here's the intended flavor. Some people don't like that. They like the watered down, dialed back versions. Over ice, but definitely mixed from the fountain. So
I will always defend that McDonald's does something different with their Coke and their Sprite. It's the best.
Just dialed in differently.
Oh, it is.
Alrighty. Well, I'm happy to see you starting on your Dr. Pepper Zero journey.
My journey. I'll have updates as I experience new ways to enjoy Dr. Pepper Zero. Not a sponsor yet.
Absolutely could be.
Yes.
Here in the great state of Texas.
Now that we are both fully on board, this would be perfect.
Waiting on bated breath. Here we go. Now we can sponsor.
I'm dying to reach out to these guys, but man, that other one, he just doesn't drink much diet drinks. He doesn't talk about it. Definitely doesn't flaunt the can like Spencer does.
Yeah, because you probably weren't like paying all that much attention. Do you remember Dr. Pepper 10?
I do, actually.
In the gray cans?
Yes. I did. I distinctly remember buying a 12-pack of that, and I don't know if I ever bought another one. I was like, it was fine. There was Dr. Pepper Max or something for a bit.
I don't remember that.
No, I might be mixing that with Pepsi, but I definitely remember the 10.
What I remember was more specifically their advertising, the marketing campaigns. Like it was a manly diet drink.
Yes, yeah. A lot of stuff in the jungles with
Jurassic Park adjacent. Yeah.
Yes, I remember that too.
It was the diet drink for men.
Yeah, because I don't know. I think they were even ramping up. Something about it being 10 calories made it manlier than 0, or I don't know. I remember that too.
Diet culture was marketed and advertised towards women.
That's for ladies. Men, you need those 10 calories.
Yeah. All right. Well, that'll do it for us here on the 23 Personnel Podcast. We did eclipse an hour. Look at us, go us. We will be back next week to chop up the next 2 games of the basketball season, going into the final regular season game matchup versus the BYU Cougars on the road. All this without JT Toppin. But until then, we'll see you next time. For Michael, I'm Spencer.
Thank you for listening to the 23 Personnel Podcast. Help us out by subscribing, rating the show, and leaving a review. Follow us on Twitter at 23Personnel, Spencer at PuntSuck, and Michael at Michael_LVK. Be sure to catch the next episode. And until then, guns up and let the tortillas fly.